Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, naturally.
Oh, hello. Again.
Oh, well, there you are. Malcolm, I found her.
It's the news we've been dying to hear.
They might want to sit down for this. Is he sitting down?
Yes, Jay.
A new season of Ghosts returns, part of CBS Premiere Week on CBS.
Who wants to hear some fantastic news?
You have less than 2 minutes to tell us everything. No way.
A new season of So Help Me Todd is on the way, part of CBS Premiere Week on CBS.
Believe it or not, I'm seeing sun in the forecast. I'll tell you when it shines on us and the outlook for New Year's. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, new year, new laws. The legislation going into effect in Michigan aiming to prevent gun violence. Plus, why the state Supreme Court decided Trump will remain on the ballot for the presidential primary in Michigan next year. And a preview of this weekend's big New Year's Eve celebrations in Dickinson County. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
It's still very mild out, even though the sun has been gone for hours now. Are there still places seeing fog again tonight?
You betcha. Of course, yes, we do have some fog this evening. We will even see some of that fog tomorrow morning, likely though to disappear mid-morning. I'll show you that after the break. Today we saw a high of 38 out at the National Weather Service station just outside of Marquette, and we're going to see these temperatures dropping down even cooler this weekend as we've got a clipper system moving in, bringing some breezes, gusts as well, and maybe even snowflakes. I'll tell you more after the break.
Thank you very much, Ariane. New laws will be taking effect in the first few months of 2024, including a set of laws that aim to increase gun safety in Michigan. Elle Myers has an overview of those laws and how advocates on both sides of the argument feel about them.
There are four significant gun laws that will be implemented in 2024. They'll require things like safe storage, universal background checks, create extreme risk protection orders, also called red flag laws, and a ban for those convicted of domestic violence. Four changes that advocates and Democrats in the legislature have been pushing for years.
Taken together, these laws represent a sea change in Michigan's gun safety regime. We've gone from being a laggard, having not passed a gun safety law in 40 years, to being a national leader.
Bates tells me Michigan's red flag law includes clear requirements for a legal process before a firearm is removed, plus an appeals process. He tells me he's particularly pleased to see the safe storage law officially passed.
In states where they've implemented a strong safe storage law, youth firearm deaths went down 50%. So that one intervention can have a huge impact on the lives of our children.
But Rick Ector, a firearms trainer in Detroit, tells me he has concerns about each of these new laws.
All of them stand out to me in a negative fashion, as I feel that they are against the natural, inherent God-given rights that we have as citizens of this country.
Michigan's gun ban for convicted domestic abusers would prevent someone from owning a gun for up to 8 years after a misdemeanor conviction. And Ector tells me he feels Michigan doesn't need universal background checks.
It's already on the books that if you're going to purchase a firearm from an FFL, the Federal Firearms Licensee, that a background check be performed. It really begs the question, do we really believe that people who are statutorily ineligible to own and possess a firearm, that they're going to subject themselves to a background check?
That particular set of laws will go into effect February of 2024. New legislation introduced in the State House aims to make steps to protect those facing homelessness while the legislature works on other solutions. The state's homeless population saw an increase from 2021 to 2022. According to Michigan's campaign to end homelessness, in the UP alone, homelessness saw an increase of 47%, from 696 people served by emergency shelters to 1,026.
The focus right now should be ensuring that those folks who are struggling the most, who just do not have access to resources that currently do not exist, get the help they need to get to the root of the social determinants of houselessness without being degraded along the way.
There's more about the Homeless Bill of Rights on our website, WZMQ19.com, and our mobile news app. Michigan's Supreme Court said today it is keeping former President Donald Trump on the state's primary election ballot. The Supreme Court of Michigan rejected a bid to remove Trump's name from the ballot in the state. In the decision, the court said the challenge to a state appeals court ruling was considered but denied because the justices were, quote, not persuaded that the questions presented should be reviewed by that court. Legal experts say the battle over Michigan's ballot could be revived if Trump becomes the GOP presidential nominee.
The Michigan Supreme Court and the lower court in Michigan was fairly clear that this is just about the primary ballot. So expect this to come back for the general election.
Last week, a divided Colorado Supreme Court, citing the so-called insurrection clause, found Trump ineligible to be president because of his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. That ruling is likely to be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. In Dickinson County, local venues are gearing up to count down the new year. WZMQ's Iron Mountain Bureau reporter Amy Doyle has the story.
Celebrate New Year's Eve in style with thrilling plans at a seasoned music venue and a revamped local hotspot. Here's the scoop on the excitement from the Max owner and a talented performer.
The Max is lined up for good food and football. They plan on going big, cranking up the sound, and a grand finale to count down the clock.
This is going to kick off with just some snacks and party. Of course, from 7 to 10, the Packers are playing. Our new big screen is going to be up. So we have a 14-foot big screen, 14 feet inflatable big screen, and our big 30,000 watt sound system is going to be the gameplay sound. So we're going to have the sound coming right through the big stage. And so it should be pretty cool. And then when the game ends, you know, around 10 o'clock, Govern is going to take the stage and they're going to rock us to New Year's. We're going to go outside and blow off a little bit of fireworks at midnight.
The Max has their liquor license in time for the new year, with bubbly on the menu. Meanwhile, a local up-and-coming hangout called Round 2, formerly known as the Blind Pig, is ready to shine with the help of a well-known local vocalist.
It'll be our first time performing here and the first show that they've actually done. So,
plus appearances from your other favorite local hip-hop group, Midwest Crew. The Round 2 party promises no cover charge.
There's 4 of us. It's myself, my good buddy Yamakaze, and then our buddies Scary and Nolly is their artist names. Rap, hip-hop is our focus, and like I said, we've done a lot of shows at the Max, like the Afro Man one back in July.
The Max is looking ahead to some big performances in 2024. Next Saturday, the award-winning Jenna Jane is ready to sing her heart out. Amy Doyle, WZMQ 19 News, Iron Mountain.
Live performances at the new Round 2 Hangout are set to start at 9 p.m. Central Time. The Marquette Downtown Development Authority is getting ready for the annual New Year's Eve Ball Drop Bash. The DDA is partnering with Double Trouble Entertainment for this year's celebrations. However, this year they will also be providing another ball drop at 7 p.m. to give kids and families that ball drop experience without having to stay up until midnight. With that earlier drop, West Washington Street downtown will be closed at 5 p.m. Sunday and open at 1 a.m. on January 1st.
On this time of year, there's not as much going on. You know, the sun's, going down sooner, the weather's colder, it's windier. So this is a good opportunity to get people downtown in the slow season, especially as we go into the rest of the winter season.
The downtown social district will close at 10 p.m. as usual, though many businesses will be having their own events before and during the Ball Drop Bash. New Year's, of course, is a time for celebration, but it's important to remember to ring in 2024 safely. WZMQ's Scott Minshall has more on what to keep in mind this weekend.
New Year's celebrations are full of ball drops, fireworks, and gatherings. It's important to keep in mind that the celebrations do come to an end. Making sure you have a safe way home at the end of the night is critical for safety.
We encourage responsible celebration, and that starts with making sure you have a designated driver prior to even going out that night.
Police say calling a cab or just walking are suitable alternatives to driving while intoxicated. According to the Marquette Police Department, grants allow them to deploy additional officers to keep an eye out for intoxicated drivers on New Year's Eve.
And it won't just be Marquette City officers. There are going to be agencies all over our county that will have extra officers on the road on the lookout for people who are drinking too much and driving.
Fireworks are another popular way to celebrate the beginning of a new year. In the city of Marquette, fireworks can only be set off on private property by sober individuals.
Can't have people shooting things off into the streets. There's also hours where we don't want to be going over, and the holidays are the only times where you can do it. So if it's a week or two after or before, it's not going to be allowed.
Thousands are expected to travel to downtown Marquette this weekend to watch the ball drop on top of the Masonic building. With large crowds, it can be easy to become separated from your group, particularly for small children.
If your child is missing, that's a definite use of 911. We want to make sure that kids are safe, especially in the colder weather, right?
Law enforcement officers say ringing in the new year can be a fun and memorable experience, as long as proper planning and precautions are taken. Scott Minshall, WZMQ 19 News, Marquette.
A Marquette veterinary clinic is also reminding everyone to keep a close eye on their pets as we wrap up this holiday season. With New Year's coming up and Christmas over, it's important to be aware of what our pets are getting into. Leftover food can make trash cans look like a treasure trove to our pets, but things like chicken bones and food wrappers can be dangerous if eaten. It's also important to be careful when disposing of holiday decorations.
Christmas decorations, that keeping in mind that animals still are pretty inquisitive and they will chew on electrical cords, or if you have tinsel and garland, that if they get into that can cause GI or obstruction problems if they get into those kind of products.
The Marquette Veterinary Clinic also says to be especially careful with your outdoor pets once the weather actually starts to get colder. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break, plus new advancements in treatment options for those with metastatic breast cancer. And later, Valor at Sea. We go aboard a naval submarine for a behind-the-scenes look at the U.S. Navy. We're back in 2 minutes.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Shop hundreds of lazy boys at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Kick back in comfort in an industry-leading recliner. Choose from all fabrics, colors, and sizes with prices starting as low as $4.99 plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture in Houghton today.
Tonight on CBS.
10 million people call Michigan home. The state capital since 1847 is in Lansing, and decisions made in this building affect you and the Upper Peninsula. I'm WZMQ 19 Sophia Murphy, uncovering what's really happening here every day, tracking issues about your health and the environment, taxes and roads, schools, and safety. Reports direct from the Capitol, only on your WZMQ 19 News.
Sophia Murphy, reporting live from Lansing, exclusively on 19 News.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget,
Who'll be there when there are voices that need to be heard? Who'll be there when amazing rises up or a need for a warning comes falling down? Who'll be our ears and our eyes? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. Whether it's on air or behind the scenes, there's a world of opportunities waiting for you. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
News First Warning Weather with Air. Now, WZMQ 19.
Hey friends, we've got some of us dropping down into those upper 20s. Ironwood with a temperature of 28 degrees over here in Ironwood. Everyone else a little bit warmer. Take a look, St. Ignace, woo! 40 degrees at the moment, but we'll expect those temperatures to drop down even more. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a car that should get into that car wash. So the best times to do it for the next couple of days, each one of these days seems to be all right, but I will let you know Thursday we are expecting some drizzle as well as fog in the morning. So if you don't want to mess with that, maybe hold off till Friday when we've got sunnier conditions on the way. Those temperatures 35 to 45 both on Thursday and on Friday. And then we could see some gusts moving in from the north, continuing to keep those temperatures cool. All right, so in the morning for your commute, especially along that Wisconsin border, that visibility reduced down there to 0.2 of a mile, and then Eagle Harbor as well as Lawrence could have reduced visibility even into mid-morning, but after that we're expecting that fog to disappear. Okay, precipitation, woo, some flooding going on over there in Pennsylvania, at least flood warnings. We're not seeing that activity right now, but a little bit messy here in Menominee and Marinette just south of us as they've got that wintry mix, and we've seen some rain showers along that Lake Michigan coastline. Take a look at conditions right now. A little bit of drizzle over here south of Newberry, between Newberry and the Manistee coast there, but we'll expect that to eventually clear on out. We could see a mix here between Marquette and Munising, but other than that, we're not seeing accumulation as far as rainfall or snow. Maybe some flurries tomorrow mid-morning there along that north coast of Superior, but other than that, oh, and again down there in Marquette and Elgin counties, but it's going to be gone real quick. Tomorrow, or Friday, not tomorrow, Friday we'll expect mostly sunny skies like I mentioned, and those temperatures still in that 35 to 45 degree range. Clouds moving in, partly to mostly cloudy skies for the evening. I mentioned those winds coming out of the north. We'll see gusts up to about 20 miles an hour here in Marquette this evening, and then on Thursday morning, it could get up to 26 down there in Menominee. Basically, the central portions here could see a little bit more of those breezes and gusts, even into Friday when those winds will eventually slow down. Our 7-day outlook for Marquette, we could see some drizzle here in the morning, but other than that, we'll expect mostly cloudy skies. Sunny on Friday, those temperatures dipping down this weekend. We'll hit about 35, then 29 for New Year's Day. And I gotta show this Terry Donaldson photo. It's a coyote, a backyard outdoor dog. I've got your 7-day outlook for Escanaba in 15.
Terry has always taken awesome pictures. Thanks, Air. Well, it was an interesting year weather-wise, but then again, like Carl Bonack says, the weather is usually interesting here in Upper Michigan.
First of all, this past winter featured mild weather and a good deal of snow. The storms often brought a rather wet snow because of the warm temperatures. December 2022 came in very close to average, but January and February had well above normal temperatures. Spring came and winter quickly left. A surge of warmth set in the second week of April with a mean temperature the week of April 9th through 15th over 21 degrees above average. Of course, winter made a big comeback 3 weeks later as a massive snowstorm dropped over 2 feet of snow at the National Weather Service office on May 1st and 2nd. The season ended with 265.1 inches of snow, the fourth snowiest winter at the Weather Service since 1979. Summer 2023 got off to a sizzling start with 10 consecutive days of 80 degrees or above beginning Memorial Day weekend. During this stretch, the mean temperature came in over 13 degrees above average. The month of June was a degree above normal, while both July and August were over a degree below average. There were 5 90-degree days, including a September record 95 on the 4th. The long-term average is 3 days. Moisture was more than adequate this past year. In fact, precipitation for the year will be close to 45 inches, well above the long-term average, which is just over 36 inches of rain and melted snow annually. This is part of a trend toward wet weather in the Great Lakes. Notice the widespread green, signifying above average precipitation the last 10 years. However, the fall was dry over much of the eastern U.S., including the Upper Peninsula. Looking ahead, NOAA's outlook for the first 3 months of 2024 is for continued dry weather for Upper Michigan.
Of course, you can watch all of Carl's past segments from 2023 on our website, WZMQ19.com, and just search for That's What Carl Says. In health news tonight, while a breast cancer diagnosis of any kind is life-altering, a diagnosis of metastatic breast cancer can be especially devastating. But as Dr. Malika Marshall reports, new advances in treatment are helping patients live longer and healthier lives.
Valerie Frank was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer in 2018. Despite multiple surgeries, chemo, and radiation, 2 years ago it returned and had become metastatic, meaning it spread to her bones, liver, and lungs. The 52-year-old wife and mother of 3 teenage girls was crushed.
It was absolutely terrifying. I was in a state of panic for months, just paralyzing panic.
Fortunately, there are so many more treatment options available for patients like Valerie compared to just a decade ago.
It used to be patients were living for about 2 years. Now the median survival is up to 5+ years. So it is dramatically different, and that is because we have so many new therapies that are available for patients.
One such therapy is antibody drug conjugates that act as smart bombs by directly targeting the tumor, sparing healthy cells, and reducing side effects.
We have seen the most number of approvals for metastatic breast cancer in the last 3 years than I have seen in my entire career over 15 years.
Unfortunately, over time, cancer cells learn to outsmart individual drugs, so it's important to have an arsenal of options. Valerie has already gone through several therapies. When her current regimen stops working, she'll move on to another.
I hope one day we'll be able to tell a patient with metastatic disease that we can cure them. We're not there yet.
I am going to die of breast cancer, unless I'm hit by a bus. I'll die of breast cancer, but I am determined to be here for as long as I can for my family.
No matter what it takes.
In many patients with advanced breast cancer, these new targeted therapies are either being used in conjunction with traditional chemotherapy or replacing it altogether. Still ahead tonight, we continue our mini-series, Valor at Sea. We explore life beneath the surface on a naval submarine.
Tonight on CBS.
I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
Hi, Paul.
Meet Opie Taylor. He's dramatic. A dreamer.
I wish that I get a B in arithmetic.
But most of all,
I think you're the best sheriff in the whole world.
he's devoted to Dad. It's Andy and Opie on The Andy Griffith Show.
Weeknights at 8 on MeTV 19.1. You're watching the award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
More than 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water, and the U.S. Navy is tasked with the protection and defense of America at sea. Sometimes that means working far below the water's surface. But before a Navy sailor steps foot on a submarine, there's intense training for every possible scenario underwater. Renata Steele with our sister station WENY News has the report.
At the Submarine Learning Facility, Norfolk, naval officers and enlisted personnel train for service in the maritime domain. Submariners, as they're called, go through hands-on training, learning everything from navigation to responding to onboard emergencies to wartime combat.
So when a junior sailor reports to the submarine, they are actually going to be in qualifications to earn the submarine warfare pin. And that qualification process, it's brutal. I mean, it takes about a year for a sailor to finish that, and that is really that sailor proving to the rest of the crew that in the event of an emergency, this guy can save my life. And there's a lot of pride in that. This was actually the very first warfare pin in U.S. military history. So a lot of people, it means a lot to us to earn your dolphins. You can see this thing, this trainer can take some.
Petty Officer Joshua Updegrove has been in the Navy for 8 years. While going to college for accounting, he decided to make a life change and join the Navy.
So I'm an information systems technician on board submarines, where I do all of the network security on board, as well as the external communications, communicating with operational commanders, as well as work with electronic warfare.
While on deployment, the submariners may be underwater for months at a time. With more than 100 crew members on board, they're working in tight quarters, ready for whatever conditions lie ahead.
It depends on the mission set that you are assigned to. So some submarines, they're there for deterrent patrols, which means they roll around with nuclear weapons, and they are strictly there to strike if need be. There's also different types of strike operations where we can launch sea-to-land Tomahawk missiles. We can do Navy SEAL insertion. We can do mine-laying operations. We can do peacetime exercises with other countries, which is very important.
Naval submarines play a key role during peace times as well, conducting surveillance and reconnaissance missions while moving undetected.
Well, it's stealth's your greatest friend. I mean, an aircraft carrier and all these surface ships, it's a projection of power. There's no hiding that big thing. It's there. However, a submarine under the sea, you can't see that thing coming, so you can really see what your adversaries are up to when they don't know anyone's watching.
While naval submarines patrol the seas unseen, one of the most visible symbols of the Navy's power is the aircraft carrier. That's where we're headed next.
Feels good. So we got our cranial protection, we have our life preservers, and we are getting ready to board the Greyhound and head out to the USS George Washington.
Flying out to sea to the USS George Washington. We'll see what life is like on a ship and take you along for the ride. Renata Steele, WZMQ 19 News.
Tomorrow night, in the final part of this series, Renata flies out to sea to go aboard the naval aircraft carrier, the USS George Washington. That's tomorrow, only right here on 19 News. We could be seeing another round of drizzle when we wake up in the morning. Ariane lets us know where. And an annual tradition in Times Square. The new features for this year's ball drop in New York City. That's our final story after this.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
Y'all not ready for this. Scandival put her through it all. Ariana Maddox has tips to find love after loss. Are you dating right now? Plus, the hilarious Gabriel Iglesias.
You have your face on a hot sauce bottle.
He's Mexican, that's what happened.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
Yes, we're on thin ice. And everything is going up in smoke. Still, some are adding fuel to the fire, while the rest of us see the troubled waters rising. Our planet is under the weather. But when the going gets tough, the tough get, well, you know. Because in the heat of this moment, we're not about to lose our cool. Love it or lose it.
Major Seth Adams, the loudest voice in the West, heard from practically anywhere.
Sounded to me like it come off the Ponderosa.
Weekdays at 4 on MeTV 19.1.
Right now, we've got temperatures anywhere from 25 over there in Ironwood up to 40 in St. Ignace. Most of us will be in that 25 to 35 range this evening. There is a chance of some drizzle tomorrow morning. We're talking those early hours, 5, 6 a.m. A lot of that should be cleared out. We could also see patchy fog. And then it is the third day of Kwanzaa, which stands for Cooperative Economics. Gradual sunshine is a possibility, but most likely we'll have mostly cloudy skies for the day. Looking ahead to Sunday, New Year's Eve, those temperatures in the night, 15 to 20. Make sure you are bundled up, ready for that ball drop. And then Monday, we'll have mostly cloudy skies, not warming up too much after that. Take a look here for Escanaba. Possible snow flying around on that Sunday.
Finally tonight, New Year's Eve revelers in Times Square are being treated to a new design on the big crystal light ball that drops to usher in the new year. This year, the 12-foot in diameter, 12,000-pound ball features a new bow tie lighting pattern created in partnership with Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. The hotel and Times Square share a bond with the bow tie. Times Square used to be called the bow tie because it's formed by two triangles that come together in the shape of a bow tie. And the architect Fontainebleau's iconic Miami Hotel was always wearing one. With the new ball also comes a new tradition this year.
And for the first time ever, after midnight, we're going to relight the ball at 12:04 a.m. You're going to see this brilliant bow tie pattern. The ball will go back up the pole, then come back down again to rest at its perch year-round, where you can come see it any day of the year here in Times Square.
That's pretty cool. Why weren't they doing that before, right? Singer-songwriter Paul Anka will perform a new version of his hit song My Way and John Lennon's Imagine just before the 60-second countdown to midnight.
Ooh, Paul Anka.
Yeah, it'll be great. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand.